Matthew, I want to talk frankly.
Please.
This other life you led, is your heart still with it? Or is your heart with the one who walked through it by your side?
Elektra. Yeah. I do miss her. But I know that the things she brought out in me were wrong.
From what you've told me about her, I think she'd be happy about how well you're doing.
Maybe. Or maybe she'd tell me I'm abandoning that life. And with it, her memory.
You're not abandoning Elektra. You don't have it in you. What you're doing, we call that moving on. Purgatory is a place for the dead, Matthew, not the living. There's nothing wrong with letting people go. She'll find her peace. I pray you find yours as well.
Hey YouTubers, brand new Defenders, let's break it down. And a quick reminder, all the episodes are dropping in almost like 2 weeks. It's on the 18th, so I'll be doing videos for all that. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. There'll be a special Marvel giveaway, we'll do a bunch of fun stuff, but there's a couple big things going on in this clip. So if you haven't watched Daredevil Season 2 in a while, they're picking up where they left off with Elektra. He's in confessional with Father Lantum, and he hasn't been Daredevil for almost a year now. So ever since that last moment in Daredevil Season 2 where he confessed his identity to Karen Page, I'm Daredevil, he hasn't been wearing the costume. Defenders picks up about 6 months after Iron Fist, and you have to assume that they happen in relatively linear fashion, so the events of Iron Fist are happening after the events of Daredevil Season 2. So it'll have been almost a year and a half, so we have to talk about what's been happening since then in the Daredevil universe because we've seen the other shows. Like we saw what happened during Luke Cage, we saw what happened during Jessica Jones, most of us saw what happened during Iron Fist. They say that that series was the most watched Netflix series so far. Netflix doesn't report ratings the way that normal TV shows do, so it's hard to tell how popular each of the different Defender series are compared to the others. But their other big topic of discussion is Elektra, the corpse that we still think is in the ground. Matt doesn't know anything about her coming back from the dead, the Hand stealing her, resurrecting her, and her being co-opted by Alexandra as we saw during the Defenders trailer. I did have a chance to see episode 1, but I'm going to wait to post my non-spoilery review video till it gets ready to drop. But without giving away spoilers, they pick up with each of the different characters and let you know what they've been working as a normal attorney as Matt Murdock this whole time. There's been no Daredevil, he just been Matt. She'll feel like I abandoned this thing that I was supposed to be doing. If she were in the right frame of mind, which she is not, which I'll explain in a second, she would be pissed that he's not Daredevil. That was the most fun thing ever for her. She was a double agent for Stick trying to get Matt to join this war. She was trying to get him to leave all of this Matt Murdock stuff behind. So all this is the opposite of what she would want. The actress Elodie Young has explained that after her resurrection, she has a form of amnesia, so she has no idea what's going on. She doesn't remember her time with Matt. She doesn't remember what she was doing with Stick. So she's this assassin's raw lump of clay that Alexandra is trying to fashion into her own version of the Punisher. I would say her own version of Iron Fist, but that's kind of a separate thing. If you remember Iron Fist Season 1, they said that there's somebody that we know that would really like to meet you. That's probably Alexandra. Like they want to use him as their own personal boogeyman. So now they have a version of that in Elektra. They haven't said a whole lot about it, but you have to remember that she is another Black Sky. So it's been a while since we've touched on that. But essentially what I think they're doing is they're using that as a version of the Beast from the comics, which is the thing that the Hand worships and allows them to resurrect people. So the TV show might take a slightly different spin on it, but it's basically more of a possession situation where she becomes the embodiment of this terrible evil thing, the way that Iron Fist harnesses his chi as well as wielding the power of Shu Lao the dragon. He's supposed to be the mortal enemy of the Hand, so if Black Sky is sort of the reverse version of Iron Fist, that'd be pretty cool. But in the comics, technically that's Steel Serpent, so we could just think of her as Black Sky right now, but it's not like she's going to be shooting energy beams from her eyes or anything like that. So she just spends the entire trailer in that voiceover, the Sigourney Weaver voiceover, trying to tell her that everybody's going to let her down, those aren't her friends, so she might remember them just a little bit. I think they want to leave the window open so that you understand that it's possible for her to go back to Matt, but it's probably going to take most of the episodes. Half of the action of the trailer is Elektra kicking all their asses, so it'll be fun to see how that plays out. Because even though Elektra was kind of weird during Daredevil Season 2, I felt like on a character level, she was way more interesting than, say, someone like Karen Page. Even though all that Karen Page stuff with him was kind of cute, it's not that kind of show. If this were a network show, it would be more like the SNL version of Black Widow, where they get married at the end, they have a child, and they move off to the suburbs. This is not a parody of a Marvel story, so that's why the Elektra stuff is so much more fun. And just on a comic book level, she's a lot more interesting.
I suppose I'll never have short hair again.
Well, you could always tell people you got a fight in the Yakuza. No one will believe you anyway.
So really, this clip is just for the Daredevil stuff where they pick up with him. They'll have a version of this with Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. They'll probably drop those promos in the next couple of weeks. It's creeping up a lot closer than you think. So what'll happen is when we get closer, I'll post that non-spoilery review video. And then depending on interest level, I'll do videos for every episode or every 1 or 2 episodes. There's only 8, so hopefully I'll have all that stuff out within the first week of it airing. Like, there will be a lot of people that binge it all at once, but I think most people kind of take the whole week to get through it. But it'll be really cool. We'll have Defenders and Game of Thrones on, and Rick and Morty at the same time. So there's actually a lot of awesome TV happening this summer. But I know you're all asking about that Punisher footage they dropped at Comic-Con. I've already done a breakdown of it. I did that during my Defenders trailer video, so I'll link that at the end of this. But what they'll probably do is they'll release that at the end of Defenders. And just a reminder that Defenders has a legit Marvel-style post-credit scene. And that's at the end of episode 8. It's not after every single episode. They haven't said yet whether or not there'll be a second season of Defenders, but I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think they just want to see how everybody reacts to season 1 of Defenders, because they know how well each of the individual series do, but Defenders is a whole different beast. But what'll happen is there's a couple more Comic-Con trailers to get through. I have Walking Dead Season 8, so I'll do a video for that next. That should be up in a couple hours. There's some Young Justice I want to post tomorrow, and some new Game of Thrones. Maybe some Ant-Man and the Wasp this weekend too. They released a production teaser, and there's a little bit of stuff we know about the movie. So while you wait for everything, click here to re-watch that Defenders trailer, and you can click here for my Infinity War trailer from Comic-Con. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.